Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today I'm gonna show you guys how to do a full gel manicure at home. Have you guys ever gone to a salon and asked for just regular gel on your nails and they peeled off the next day or a few days later? You guys can save so much money by literally learning how to do your own gel manicure. Gel manicure is basically gel on your natural nails, but today I'll be showing you guys builder gel. So builder gel is a great product to use if you want to grow out your natural nails, and I've been actually trying to grow out my natural nails for the past few months, and I'm on a journey and I'm so proud of the length that they've gotten to. And if you want to save a bit of money and learn how to do your own gel manicure at home, then this video is perfect for you. I'm gonna take you guys through each step, and today I will be showing you guys a gel manicure fill-in. I'm gonna be first removing the gel that's on the nail, and today Beetles is sponsoring this video. Thank you, Beetles. So we're gonna be unboxing some few colors that I got from them. I feel like Beetles have the best beginner kits, the best gel polish kits to start off with, so I'm gonna link it down below and also put up a discount code up here if you guys are interested. And without further ado, let's get into the tutorial for these beautiful Frenchies. And I even decided to add a little blueberry on them because it's spring/Easter, so I'm just in the mood to do a little bit more color on these basic Frenchies. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Comment down below if you guys have any questions. I'll be answering as much as I can. I have to say, Beetles never misses with their gel polish kits, and today we're going to be unboxing 36 color gel polishes, and I'll show you guys my favorite ones. I love the color selection for this kit because it's just super spring and super summer, and I feel like you guys could use a lot of these colors in a lot of the designs that I show you guys. If you guys are beginners in Gel-X or gel, or if you want to invest in a beginner kit, then I definitely recommend checking out their Amazon store. I'll link it down below, and of course use my discount code if you guys end up buying a beginner kit. Currently, I'm using the Ericus ATA Gel-X removal bit at a speed of 35 RPM. I'm going at the max speed because I'm already so comfortable with my e-file and I know I won't cause any injuries. But if you guys are first time users of e-file or just not comfortable using an e-file, definitely go at a lower speed, whatever speed you're comfortable with, and make sure that you don't burn yourself. So you guys can see I go over the same spot 3 or 4 times and then I move on to the next area. That's to prevent heat spikes from happening. One very important rule that I always follow is whenever you're removing builder gel, I always leave 10 to 20% of the product on the natural nail. I don't remove everything. I don't remove 100% because if you drill all the way down to your natural nail, you always risk drilling a little bit of your natural nail and damaging and thinning your natural nail out. So I always leave 10 to 20%, and this also helps a little bit with retention, since if there's no lifting with the builder gel, then might as well just keep it there and keep the strength of that builder gel, and then just work over that and fill that in with new builder gel. And this is just if you're doing a removal or a fill, and otherwise I would say just remove Gel-X all the way and remove any other product all the way. Just with builder gel and natural nail, I just want to be extra careful and leave a bit of product on there. Now that I've removed 80% of the builder gel, and you guys can see there's still a little bit on there, I'm gonna dust off whatever dust is on my hands. And this is also another rule: whenever I shape my natural nail, I use a buffer instead of a nail file. Nail files tend to be a bit more rough and just harsher on your natural nail, and I love using the 100 grit side of the buffer and just go over the whole nail, buff it, give it some texture and smoothen out the bumps, as well as just shaping it. Of course, when it comes to shaping it into a whole new shape, like if you were to go from an almond to a square, then I recommend using a nail clipper and a proper nail file. But since I'm just reshaping it into an almond, I'm just gonna use the buffer and go over that whole nail around the cuticle as well. And now I'm going in with my cuticle bit. This bit is from Melody Susie, and I love this bit because it actually doesn't dig into your natural nail. And as you can see, I'm not pressing too hard onto my nail. I'm just pushing back that skin, that cuticle back, and then going over that. So I really love this cuticle bit. It's very gentle on your natural nail. By the way, I'm using a speed of 5 or 6. Usually whenever I do cuticle work, I stay between the range of 4 to 6 and not any higher or not any lower than that, because you don't want to end up damaging your cuticles or your natural nail. And the purpose of doing this is so that you can push back the cuticle as well as lift all the dead skin. And you guys can see after I do this step, there's a bunch of like white flaky skin around the cuticle that I couldn't quite get to, and that's what the dead skin is that I can just nip off with a nipper. And yeah, and I will go in with a reverse mode on the e-file to go the other direction, just to make sure I got everything underneath that cuticle. And again, don't push too hard. This is just a very light buff, not even on your natural nail. It's like pushing back your cuticle, so there should be no damage to your natural nail by doing this. I think a secret that not a lot of people know is cuticle work or cuticle prep actually makes your whole nail set last so much longer because there is no skin interfering with the glue. So actually getting into cuticle prep and cuticle care is a really good way to start working on your retention, and you guys will know what I mean if you start with cuticle work. And I know it's a bit intimidating because you have to get used to the nail nipper, and there will be some times where you make a mistake and you nip and hurt yourself. We've all been there, but I would say it's all about practice and knowing yourself and knowing your skin and knowing where it's sensitive. And I would say every cuticle is sensitive around the side walls, so be careful around the edges from left to right. And I've mentioned this in other videos, but it's better if your nipper is really sharp, so they can get dull within a few months. So I replace my nippers every few months because they can just lose its sharpness, and you really want it sharp and precise. You don't want to tug on your skin, you just want the nail nipper to do its job. And you guys can tell this nipper I'm using right now is a little bit more on the duller side, so I definitely got rid of this nipper after using it here. And just make sure that it's really sharp. That's all I have to say. After your cuticle is cleaned and nipped, I'm gonna go in with some sanitizing alcohol and spray all my nails to remove all the dust and oil that's still stuck on there. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I didn't use any hydrating products up until this point, up until the end of the cuticle, because when you do your cuticles, when you work with your cuticles, you want your fingers, your cuticles to be super dry. This way it's easier to differentiate where it's flaky, where it's dead, and where it's still live tissue. So that's just one key trick that I can tell you guys. Also, I'm going in with the Model 1's dehydrator. Dehydrator just sucks all the oil out, just makes it super dry so nothing gets in between that base coat that you put on. This really helps with retention. If you guys are wondering if I'm not going to put a primer on, I don't like primer. I think it's useless. That's my controversial opinion for today. Now I'm gonna go in with that base coat that I got from Beetles, and I'm gonna apply that on the whole nail plate. Make sure that you don't get this on the skin. Actually, make sure no gel gets on your skin, and if it does, because accidents can happen, make sure you go in with some bit of acetone and a brush and clean it up right away before putting into the lamp. If you guys want to know a little bit about contact dermatitis, which I talked about in my last video, go check that out. So after you cure your base coat all for 60 seconds into the big lamp, I'm gonna take my builder gel, BIAB builder in a bottle. This is from Beetles, my favorite builder gel ever, and they have different shades, but I decided to go with this pinky nude shade today. And I'm applying a very thin slip layer. This is called the slip layer because you don't cure this layer. You're just gonna put it in every corner, make sure it's all smooth, and then you're gonna grab, without curing that layer, you're gonna grab a blob of that same gel. So I'm gonna put my brush back into the bottle, grab a little bit more, and then put that bead around the cuticle and drag it all the way down to the nail. And this is to make sure that everything is super even and to give that little density and thickness. If you guys have never heard of builder gel or never used builder gel before, builder gel is basically a thicker, gooey consistent of a regular gel polish, and if you hit it somewhere on the wall, it will crack and it won't peel off. So if you guys have ever experienced just gel peeling off straight away, this will prevent that from happening. This is a very thick consistency, it's almost like glass, so it will protect your natural nail while you let them grow out. And what you want to achieve with this is the perfect apex shape. That's why it's a little bit tricky to use, because you have to get that perfect roundness and evenness throughout the whole nail. And you guys can check with the reflection. I usually check if it's all even. If the reflection goes all the way down, that little light, then I know that it's even, and I will cure it straight away into the lamp. And since this is a thicker gel, you might get a bit of heat spikes whenever you cure this, but I make sure to put my lamp on a low heat mode. So the 3 steps is put a slip layer on, then drag the bead down to your nail, and then grabbing a liner brush, I'm gonna even out the gel. Make sure that it's touching the side of the nail as well to give it the support. Then I'll flip my hand upside down so gravity could help me center the gel, and then check one last time if it's the perfect shape, and if it's even, then you can flip it back over and put it into the nail lamp. And I'm a perfectionist with this step, so I always give it my time. And the great thing about gel is it's not going to air dry, so you can try as many times as you want before putting it into the lamp. I will be completely honest with you guys, mastering the skill of builder gel is really hard, and I had to practice so many times to get this shape perfectly, to get all the evenness perfectly, and it definitely takes practice, but it's so rewarding once you get to grow out your natural nails using builder gel. Anyways, now I'm going in with a lint-free pad and removing all the stickiness off of that builder gel that I just cured. Whenever you do builder gel, it's gonna be a little sticky and tacky even after you cured it, so I just make sure to wipe it off with some sanitizing alcohol. And now we're gonna get started with the French nail design, and I'm gonna use the Beetles white gel polish that I came in the kit. And one of the reasons I love Beetles in general is because their gel is just super pigmented. You don't need to go in twice. Usually I have to go in with 2 layers of this white gel polish to give it that like pigmentation, but usually with builder gel it's completely just fine using 1 layer because it's just such a strong color. And I'm also using a very thin liner brush. I recommend using a thinner brush for more accuracy and smoothness in the lines whenever doing a French nail design. And you guys can tell I'm moving around my nail rather than my hand to help with that smile line. And this is one of the key tricks to just getting better at a French nail design. And this is also a personal preference, but I really like my French line to be a little bit more thinner. I feel like thinner French nail designs look a bit more elegant and clean aesthetic rather than thick ones. And I was going for a very classy look today, and of course I'm gonna add a little blueberry on my ring finger later on that I'll show you guys. If you guys are really struggling with perfecting your French nail designs, I really recommend getting a brush that you can go and clean up the smile line with. And honestly, there's like tons of tricks on how to do the perfect French. I think you just have to do your research and see what works best for you. What works best for me is just using a liner brush and drawing it, but some other people have really cool tricks on how to do just a regular French. And those tricks are so much easier and better for beginners. So definitely recommend doing your research on French nail design, key hacks and things like that. Now I'm grabbing like a pure blue color from that same Beatles collection, and then also grabbing a darker ocean blue color to create that depth in the blueberry. So I'm just using 2 shades of blue, and using a dotting tool, I'm just gonna dot a little small circle on the side of that French, cure that, and I'm using a regular blue shade for that. And then I'm going in with the dark ocean blue color at the tip to give it that blueberry look and depth. And I'm also going in with a dark army green color, and this is definitely something that I just wanted to add to make it actually look like a blueberry, because it wasn't really looking like a blueberry that I wanted. And yeah, I think it turned out cute, but to add a 3D effect, I'm gonna go in with some hard gel, and I'm using the water glass hard gel. You guys can also use builder gel for this, by the way, any kind of clear, hard, gooey gel. And I forgot to record it for you guys, but I just added some of that dot onto the blueberry to give it a 3D effect. And it's such a small detail, but it definitely looks like more of a blueberry since it's 3D now. And now I'm gonna go in with top coat and making sure that I get into every single corner, making sure I don't get it on the skin, and seal everything and then cure it for 60 seconds. This is the finished look for this tutorial for the BIAB Builder in a Bottle manicure tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it was helpful, and if you guys like this video, please subscribe and like, and stay tuned for my next videos. Thank you so much for watching.